Hey, this is Zander Fryer with Shit You Don't Learn in College, and today we're going to be talking about the best business advice that I've ever received and that has made me millions of dollars. Now, over the last several years, I've spent over $500,000 on different coaching, mentorship, programs, advice from people to help me better my life, grow my business, build my relationships. So I spent a lot of money on different forms of advice, and I think I consider myself relatively good at listening to advice, figuring out what's good and what's not, and really implementing it. So what is the best advice? How do you know what's good, what's not? And what'll actually help you get where you want to go? Well, before I actually dig into the 3 pieces of advice that I personally think has been the best advice that I've ever given, I want to help you understand what it means to actually take good advice. Because most of us actually just take advice from people who really don't have any business giving us that advice. It's what I call best guess advice. We take advice from Uncle John, who owns a restaurant, on how to start an online business. Why? Because Uncle John's an entrepreneur. But has he ever built an online business? No. So we gotta be really careful of who we take advice from, first and foremost, and then we can start to understand what's the really good advice and what's not. So first of all, figure out that you're taking advice from people who have been where you want to go and gotten other people there as well. Those are the types of people that you want to take advice from. And when you're taking advice from those types of people, make sure that you're not only listening to what they're saying, but you're also watching what they're doing. And if they're congruent, what they say and what they do, that's the advice that you want to take. So now let's dig into the 3 pieces of advice that have made me millions and probably saved me millions too. Now, the first piece of advice that I learned came from a mentor of mine when I first quit my job and I was starting my business. Now, at this point in time, I had just quit my job and I had just paid my $100,000 worth of student loan debt. And I was hesitant to invest in myself to really get my business up and running, right? And what my mentor told me, he said, Zander, we all learn from the school of hard knocks. You learn from what works and what doesn't, what helps you succeed and what knocks you down. We learn from successes and we learn from failures. But the biggest thing that I want you to understand, Zander, is that you don't have to learn from just your school of hard knocks. And the most important thing that you can do is you can learn from others who went before you. And what I realized in that moment, when I was afraid of investing in myself to really go for my future, to really learn everything that I needed to learn, he helped me realize that I was gonna learn one way or another. I was either gonna learn the long way on my own, or I was gonna learn the short way by investing myself and paying others. Now, a lot of people think that when they're first starting their business, they're first starting as entrepreneurs, they tell themselves, I'll invest in a mentor, I'll invest in a coach once I'm making a little bit of money. How backward is that? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard, right? The reality is you need to invest in yourself before so that you can learn how to start to make money, right? This is the biggest thing that he helped me realize is that I couldn't not afford a mentor. So the biggest piece of advice that I got from him was I either had to be willing to pay my dues in time or I had to be willing to pay my dues in money spent by hiring others to teach me from their school of hard knocks. This is by far one of the biggest and most important lessons and best pieces of advice that I have ever been given. And because of that, I have not been without mentorship or coaching in the last 5 years. And we wonder why my business has almost doubled every single year. Why I've been able to meet the woman of my dreams and get married to the woman of my dreams, move into the house of my dreams, have a team of my dreams, a TEDx, a best-selling book. Any coincidence? Maybe, maybe not. So the second piece of advice that I got is a little bit earth-shattering. Now, you may have heard that in order to be wealthy, you have to build multiple streams of income, right? Well, the second piece of advice that I got was multiple streams of income keeps you poor. What? But that goes against everything that I've heard from Rich Dad, Poor Dad and all of these different mentors that say you have to have multiple streams of income to build true wealth. Well, the reality is multiple streams of income will keep you wealthy, but it will not make you wealthy. What ends up happening when you focus on building multiple streams of income at the same time is you end up building multiple trickles of income. Now, I say this from firsthand experience because when I first started my business, and even before I started my business, I had dabbled in a lot of different things. I played around in, this business idea or this business venture or this product or or this network marketing company, and I dabbled in all these different things. And because I dabbled in so many things, nothing really got up and running. And when my mentor told me that if you want to get wealthy, multiple streams of income will never make you wealthy. You have to focus on one stream of income to actually turn it into a stream of income rather than just a trickle. And then you can focus on another stream of income. I want you to think about Jeff Bezos, Amazon. Think about Steve Jobs, Apple, well, and Pixar, but not at the same time, right? I want you to think about Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook. It was one thing that built them true wealth. It wasn't multiple things. They focused on their one thing, and they focused on it with so much heart, so much energy, so much intention that they drove it to the moon. Now, Elon Musk is a little bit different. He's just a weirdo, so he doesn't count. But you get my point here, right? Multiple streams of income ends up turning into multiple trickles of income and ends up keeping you in the poorhouse. Now, the last piece of advice that I got also rocked me a little bit, and it might be some of the most important advice for anybody looking for a life where they want to build a life and build an income doing what they love. Now, I was told this by a mentor. When I first started my life coaching business 4 years ago, I quit my job so that I can do what I love full time. And I told the world, I'm retiring today. And everyone's like, what do you mean retiring? You're gonna go build a business. I said, yeah, I'm retiring because that means that moving forward, I'm only gonna do the things that I want to do. And that's retirement to me. I'm gonna do what I love, right? Well, when I started building a business, I was very rudely awakened when I realized that when you're building a business, there's gonna be a lot of shit that you have to do that you might not like in the beginning. I had to learn how to sell. I had to learn how to market. I had to learn how to promote myself. I had to learn how to do all the administrative work because I couldn't hire somebody to do all that stuff for me, right? I had to do it myself. When you want to build a life with true meaning and impact, there's a lot of shit that you have to do that you are not going to like. And the advice that I was giving was doing what you love is for amateurs. Loving what you do is for a true pro. That's the way that I want you to think about this, okay? If you think that you're gonna be able to build a life where you're only gonna do the shit that you wanna do, that is adorable. There's always gonna be things that you have to do that you don't wanna do. If you wanna have a bigger impact, you're gonna have to learn how to sell. You're gonna have to learn how to market. And if you are not aligned with that, you're gonna have to figure out how to be aligned with that. That's what this means to be a true professional. You have to learn how to love sales. You have to learn how to love marketing. You have to learn how to love making sure that the systems and the administration stuff all gets handled well so that you can have the bigger impact, so that you can have the freedom. I live a life now where because of the team that I've built, because of the influence that I've built, because of the income that we have built, the systems that we have built, I truly do what I love every single day, and nothing but what I love. But it took me a while to build to this point. It took a lot of hard work, and it took a lot of doing shit that I truly don't love to get there. So remember, doing what you love is for amateurs. Loving what you do, that's for a real pro. Now, those are the best 3 pieces of advice that I've gotten over my last few years as an entrepreneur. Hopefully they've helped you. If you've enjoyed this video, go ahead and click the like button below and let me know that you've enjoyed it. If you have any other topics that you want me to cover specifically, go ahead and comment them below as well. And do not forget to subscribe to this channel so you never miss another great video. I'll see you in there.